Imagine stepping into a grand ancient Roman villa. You might gaze at impressive architecture, vivid wall paintings, or intricate sculptures. But often, the true masterpieces lie right beneath your feet, transformed into stunning, durable art. We are talking about Roman mosaics, and specifically to distinct fabrication techniques, Opus Tessellatum and Opus Vermiculatum. Simply put, Opus Tessellatum refers to mosaics made with larger, more uniformly sized stone pieces, typically for millimeters or more, used for broad patterns and general flooring. Opus Vermiculatum, on the other hand, employs much tinier tesserae, often less than 4 millimeters, enabling incredibly fine detail and lifelike, painterly effects. Opus Tessellatum was the workhorse of Roman mosaic art, prized for its practicality and durability. Its larger tesserae, which are the individual small cubes of stone, glass, or ceramic, allowed for quicker and more economical installation. This technique was perfect for covering expansive floors, walls, and even pathways, creating geometric designs, simple figures, and borders. The relative uniformity of the tesserae meant that while visually impressive from a distance, the details up close were often somewhat blocky, akin to early digital images. In stark contrast, Opus Vermiculatum pushed the boundaries of artistic realism. The name itself, vermiculatum, comes from the Latin word vermis, meaning worm, because the lines of tiny tesserae would often snake around forms like worms, creating contours and shading. These minute pieces, sometimes as small as 1 millimeter, allowed artists to achieve delicate gradations of color, complex curvilinear shapes, and astonishing levels of detail. This method was extremely labor-intensive and, therefore, much more costly, reserved for the most important focal points. The fundamental difference between these two techniques boils down to purpose and cost. Opus Tessellatum served the practical need for decorative, hard-wearing surfaces across vast areas, making luxury accessible. Opus Vermiculatum, however, was about showcasing supreme artistic skill and wealth, offering a canvas for intricate scenes, portraits, and mythological depictions that rivaled painted murals. Often, a grand Opus Tessellatum floor would feature an exquisite Opus Vermiculatum panel at its center, known as an emblema, drawing the eye to its superior artistry. So, how can you spot the difference when admiring an ancient Roman mosaic? Look closely at the size of the individual stones. If the patterns are bold, geometric, or simpler figurative scenes made with pieces roughly the size of your fingernail or larger, you are likely seeing Opus Tessellatum. If, however, you observe extremely subtle color transitions, finely rendered facial expressions, or detailed drapery created with pieces smaller than a pea, that is Opus Vermiculatum at its finest. These tiny tesserae allow for the illusion of brushstrokes, bringing figures to life. This masterful combination of techniques allowed Roman artists, known as musivarii, to effectively manage both budget and aesthetic ambition. The emblema, a highlight of Opus Vermiculatum, was often crafted in specialist workshops, sometimes even in another city, then transported and inserted into a larger tessellatum floor on site. This division of labor and artistic specialization ensured consistent quality for these intricate centerpieces. Furthermore, the use of opus musivum, a term sometimes used for mosaics on walls or ceilings, could incorporate elements of both tessellatum and vermiculatum to adapt to varying viewing distances and light conditions. Understanding Opus Tessellatum and Opus Vermiculatum reveals the sophisticated approach Roman artisans took to their craft. It highlights their ingenious ability to blend practical construction with high art, delivering durable beauty on a grand scale while also creating breathtaking, miniature masterpieces. These distinct methods collectively underscore the Romans' deep appreciation for visual storytelling and their technical prowess in creating lasting works that continue to captivate us millennia later.